Hello. Um, First of all, thank you very much, dear Casey, for this really great invitation. We have been working on this project now, I think, for 5 years, and we were supposed to play the concert in 2020, and then everybody knows what disrupted our lives, Corona. So we are very happy and honored to come now to Boston Early Music, and we are very excited. Today, I and my colleague Erich Taxler is also telling you something about our program. He is our harpsichord player, our great harpsichord player, and he's also teaching at the University for Music at Vienna. Yes. So on the one side, we are quite sad that Mirelle had to cancel the concert because she is ill, but we are very glad and happy that Sherezade Panthaki is going to join us in the concert, and we really look forward to it as well. We are going to offer you a very interesting and stunning program. It's called Vivaldi, Forces of Nature, Love of Nature. So in fact, we started creating or developing this program already in 2017, because this was the first time we played some concerts together with Mirelle, and we wanted to create a program with nature and as well Vivaldi. And if somebody thinks of Vivaldi and nature, of course, the first thing which will come into our mind are the four seasons. And but we didn't want to play the four seasons. We wanted to offer you a completely new program, because there are so many pieces of Vivaldi which are connected with nature, or which have the topic of nature, which are not played very often in concert, but they are really great pieces. So we tried to create a very interesting program, and and the main focus is on nature. We start, well, of course, also due to the fact that Sherezade is now doing with us the concert, and she had to change one piece because she's a high soprano. So not each piece is really connected with nature, but we tried to put the nature as a red thread through the program. The concert will start with a concerto e piano. Everybody knows that Vivaldi was a mastermind of the concerto and developed it into a very high level. So maybe, Erich, do you want to tell us something about the development of the concerto, Vivaldi?
Yeah, hello to everybody from my side. In the tradition of Corelli, it's nice, and we enjoy very much that Vivaldi puts in the concerto many aspects that come from the opera or also from the church music. That means in the opera music and church music, you will find several figurations, topics in music, and they really mean something because you have a text. And when you find this music in the concert, the same figures, they also mean something for us, although we don't have the text, but we can use those figures and those melodies as an item, a tool to speak to each other. And this communication is very important for us in ensemble. Probably it's really the specialty of Vivaldi. He changes things, he makes very uneven structures of bar progressions. And probably this very communicative style of Vivaldi makes him so interesting, because he wrote a great amount of concertos, and in every concert that we play and that we study new, we find new aspects, and so it never gets boring, and the communication starts during rehearsal, and we try then to deliver it to you, and are very much looking forward to this.
Thank you. Yeah, after the first piece, we play a very, very fascinating aria, which is called Gelido in ogni vena. It's about, in this aria, King Fanace, he mourns about the supposedly death of his son. And in this aria, he sees the ghost of his son, and he describes this feeling as like his blood is freezing in the veins. And the very interesting thing is that the beginning of this aria is completely identical with the beginning of the Winter of Vivaldi. And that's why we decided after this aria going immediately to the second movement of the Winter, because it wouldn't make any sense to play those themes twice. So yeah, it's a very intense music, full of coldness, shivering, freezing, and it's a really, really great piece. And the combination to do afterwards, the first, second and third movement of Winter is, I think, a very good idea, and I hope you will like it. So the piece before the interval will be the Folia of Vivaldi. Folia doesn't really have really something to do with nature, but anyway, it's a piece full of craziness and madness. Would you like to tell us something about the development of the Folia?
Yeah, the Folia was a sort of bass and melody thing, like a ground, or you could say a bass theme, and it was used by many composers. And Vivaldi's version is very, very intensive. It can be put in three parts. It's like 3 movements of a sonata. It's a trio sonata, and yeah, I mean, it shows actually something very typical in Baroque, the variety of acting over in the same. You have always the same bass, but you can just be very, very calm up to totally hysterical at the same in a very short period of time. And so this Folia uses very much a virtuosity through all the voices, the violins, and also the cello is involved very much. And yeah, it's just fun to play. And yeah, it's probably really like some piece of a theater piece with a very colorful content.
Thank you. After going mad in this piece, so we probably need then an interval. And in the second half, we start with a motet called Canta in Prato, which means I'm singing in the meadow. And this motet is full of terms of nature. For example, in the first aria, it refers to the nightingale, which is described as Philomela, which was the classical synonym for the nightingale. And this aria is also quite familiar to the very famous flute concerto Il Gardelino. Yes, so after that, Rodolfo, who is playing solo violin, and I'm very glad that he's playing because, you know, I tell you a little story, because when I was young, I was studying in London, and I met Rodolfo. So we both were studying at this time in London, and we started to playing together a lot and had a group, a very successful group. And after those 2 years of studying, I had to go back to Austria, and so we didn't have a lot of contact, but 5 or 6 years ago we met again, and then we started playing again, and it's really every time it's such a great joy for me, and I'm very grateful he's doing this with us again. And he chose a violin concerto called L'Amoroso. So now we are at the Love of Nature part, and as he can't be with us today, but I asked him whether he chose this piece, and I want to tell you what he wrote me. He wrote, well, love is an elemental force of nature that consumes us humans during our lifetimes. Therefore, with the L'Amoroso Concerto by Vivaldi, the program looks at the force of nature inside us rather than only interpreting nature outside, which I think is a very deep and honest description of this concerto, and it's a very, very beautiful one, even not played very much in concerts, but I'm sure you will really enjoy it. And the last piece of our program, we had to change. First, we wanted to do the Summi Medio motet, but Sherezade is a high soprano, so it wouldn't have worked. But she chose a very, very great motet called In Furore. It's also a Roman motet, composed around 1720. And this motet is like a prayer, speaking directly to God. And you can also connect it with nature, but it describes the storm of the souls of the people who adore another divinity, not God, but another divinity. And so there are also very stormy emotions in this motet. And yeah, so I think it's a great choice of the last piece. And yeah, so we really hope that you are very interested in this program, and that we can present you a great concert. We are really looking forward to it. And yeah, hopefully we'll see us next Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye. See you.